Okay, hi guys. Welcome to week
five.
Week with Heather, week 5. Seriously, commend you guys for being on these trainings because you want it, right? I mean, these trainings are crucial. I know every day, still, 3 years into this business, whatever training I can get my hands on, I'm there. I'm listening to it. I'm plugging myself in. Last night, for those of you that were on, we had our virtual Be a Boss event. I think it went amazing, but you need to get these people closed. If you have people that were on there, you need to be following up with them and saying, let's go. What kit did you decide? Don't ask them if they're ready. Say, what kit did you decide? Just act as though they are signing. If they haven't replied that they're going yet, make sure they do because it's open until Wednesday. But utilize these events, you guys. Those are your third-party validation to close these people, okay? And how are we all going to get to level 5? It's by recruiting, and it's by getting people to join you. And so those events is what's going to make that happen. So, sorry, guys. I'm in the car, so I'm bouncing all over the place. Jeff's pulling into the gas station. We are going to chat with Heather. You guys, Heather Willing is a Premier Level 5 who is going to Napa in 3 weeks. She is a recruiting freaking rock star. There is not 1 month that goes by where she doesn't add 1 to 2 business partners. So to scoop up knowledge from her is crucial. You guys want to get your pens and papers out, get your computers out to start taking notes because she's going to give us all the tips that she's got for making sure that you're continuing to replace, people. So I'm going to put myself on mute because my kids are ridiculously annoying and let Heather take over. And then, of course, she'll ask if you guys have questions at the end and stuff, and then I'll unmute myself again. But take it over, Heather.
All right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. As Megan said, consistency is the biggest thing in this business, and you guys are still here. So that is a huge, huge thing. And you should commend yourself. 9 o'clock on Monday nights is not the easiest thing. I want to be in bed right now too. But you're here and that's what matters. So I'm going to talk about tonight a little bit about all of the things that have helped me get to Premier Level 5 and why I am not stopping. I am going to be an RFX leader, and that's something I tell myself every single day. And each and every one of you can be exactly where you want to be. And so a little bit about me, I come from a more introverted personality. I'm not like Megan. I don't think I'm just 100% outgoing from the get-go. And when I started this, I kind of had that, how am I going to ever do this? I'm not a salesperson. I know nothing about skincare, all those typical things you hear. But I got plugged into the business immediately, and I didn't ever second guess myself, and I've been positive since day one. And I think those are huge things that you need to always do and always remember. And there's a pivotal moment in my time with Rodan & Fields, and it's 2 years ago to this day. I got my memory on Facebook, and I was in a training group very similar to what you guys are in, and I won the Lunch with the Leader with Sarah LeBlanc. We met for lunch in Troy, and I remember sitting down at the table with her and asking her, what is your secret sauce? I wanted to know, okay, how can I be where you're at? And she told me all the things that everybody else had told me, and there was nothing special about her that got her there but consistency, positivity, and hard work. And so I want you to all know that wherever you want to be, you can be. There is absolutely not one of you on here that cannot be a level 5 and above. And so remember that and put that in, your phone. Make it your phone screensaver that I am going to be this level. Anyone on my team, if they come to me and they say, I want to be, I immediately say, no, you're gonna be. So that's a huge thing. Vision is a huge thing in this business, and you need to envision yourself where you want to be and wake up with that goal every single day. So a couple things. I have 10 tips that I'm going to go through. And so I want you to jot down notes, things like that throughout. And then after I get done, definitely ask any questions that you have. So the first one is that, like I had said, the secret sauce is consistency every single day. Every day I work my business. Even on Christmas Day, crazy as it may seem, I have something, even an indirect message on a post about Rodan & Fields. If you go through and look at a lot of my posts, I'm very indirect, such as on Saturday, I posted about drinking Starbucks for 2 times in one day. And I got on that, there was 0 comments about Rodan & Fields. I had like 3 comments about, how do you drink Starbucks 2 times a day? How do you afford that? How do you, and even some of my customers wrote Rodan & Fields, that's how. So 0 Rodan & Fields, but they totally got the message. And one of my prospects commented on that. And so they're watching every single thing you do. The second thing is positivity. I don't let one single no get me down. I don't let anyone that comes in my way get me down. I mean, just like you, I've had a million no's. I've had people tell me to, stop messaging them. I've had people block me. I've had everything. You guys, there's not one of us that hasn't had that happen. It's that we remain positive. We keep our why right here, and you just keep plugging away, okay? Because most of the people that have come to me with a no have turned to a yes, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. And then the last thing is personable. Be you. That's, when people are joining you in business, they're joining you. They're not joining Rodan & Fields, and I know you hear this from all the top leaders, but you are who they are joining. You are who they want to see. You are who they want to hear. So when we talk about reach outs, I will focus on you being you. The second thing is work your business first. And this has been a really hard thing for me. So I hit level 5 in 11 months, and I immediately, I think, thought that I was super special and that I was just going to, have all these people knocking down my door because I was a level 5 and just joining me. And that didn't happen. And I did go into management mode. I have some rock stars on my team that have never not hit EC, and some of you are on here. I truly have amazing directs that kept me at level 5. I've never not hit level 5 since that day. But in the same sense, I realized, no, Heather, you have to keep recruiting. Those people aren't, you can't consistently count on 8 legs keeping you there. So that's when I had a mission that I would, sign 2 people a month, and that was it. And since that day, I've signed someone every single month. A couple months I've signed, 3 or 4. One month I've signed 5. This month I've signed 2 already. So I'm, consistently recruiting and adding to my team, and I will not stop. There's not a magic number to stopping. I think if you heard Wendy Green say, when you get to 100 legs, then you can take a break, okay? But that's how real this is, that your recruiting game never stops. So I want you to make a plan for the rest of this training and focus on you. 80% you, 20% your team, and stick to that. I have done something new with myself, and it is when I wake up, the first thing I do is my 5 reach outs, the first thing. Then once I get those done, I can send my team a message, or I can check in with one of my directs, or I can, put something up on my team page, but not until I have my 5 messages done. No way. And since then, my business has continued growing. I'm the only one that has control over my business. Same with all of you. You are the only one that has control. You cannot control what your directs do. You can praise them, you can build them, you can tell them what to do, but ultimately you have control over you and your business, and this is a monkey see, monkey do business. So what you are doing, they're gonna try to do, and like Megan and everyone said, your directs will do about half of what you do. Okay, so if you're bringing on 1 person a month, maybe they'll bring on 1 person a month. If you're bringing on 2 people a month, hopefully they'll be bringing on 1 person a month. So, think about what you want your directs to do. You need to do double that. And that is a huge thing in this. And that's something that I've watched myself and my team. And, I completely play the game of monkey see, monkey do. They will do what you do, not necessarily do what you say, but they will watch what you're doing. All right, third tip is go back to the basics of prospecting. So this is something that I'm 2.5 years in, and I'll be honest, I haven't even touched my warm market. Okay, so when I have directs or anyone come to me and say, I'm in my completely cold market, no, you should still be in a market where you have people to reach out to or to continue to follow up with. And so I've gone back in the last 6 months, and this is something that I do the 100 no's worksheet every single month. Okay, so my goal is to get 100 no's every month. I print this off, I go through and I try to get them. And in fact, I try to get 100 no's in 10 days. That's my mission, 100 no's in 10 days. And I do it every single month. So we do this with our new business partners. This is something we give them, and we tell them, go for 100 no's. Why do we stop? Why do we stop getting those no's? No, the only way you're going to continue to grow your business is if you're getting no's too. So print this out and go for it. Go for 100 no's in the next 10 days. Okay. Another one I do is the memory jogger, and all of these I'll post links to, and you guys are all in the business development library, but we forget about that sometimes. The memory jogger, this is something I still go back to because I go through that okay, who am I going to, reach out to today? Who am I going to reach out to tomorrow? And I feel like I'm at a standstill. When I go back to this, I think of so many people. Oh my gosh, I haven't even reached out to them. Oh my gosh, this person. So go to this, and you will realize so many people in your market that you have not even touched. And then the last thing I personally do for reach outs and follow-ups is the managing your list. Again, I'll post links to these. But this is a huge one. You can jot down, if you're not keeping an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc or something of your, and I'm still old school, pen and paper, you can put when you first reach out to them, when you follow up with them. So there's, this is a super helpful hint tool to be using daily with your reach outs as well. So go back to the basics of prospecting, use these tools. There's something we use at the beginning, and why we stop, I don't know. I did the same, but once I've gone back to them and I've really worked for those no's, and I've continued, building my pool of who I can reach out to, again, I've seen progress, and I've seen, continuing to build my business. Another thing is, with the reach outs, I stick to every single Sunday making a list of who I'm going to reach out to. If I can't think of, a certain group, I literally go to my Facebook page and I go to a letter A. This week I'm going to reach out to everyone, and that's an A. If they're not on my team, they're not, someone that I'm already following up with, they're going to get a reach out. And going to Miriam's call today, I work exactly like Miriam. My first reach out is usually not Rodan and Fields. It's starting to build a relationship, and it's starting to, build trust, because this has all changed again for me probably in the past year. I have gotten blind reach outs or cold reach outs to me, and they feel so creepy. They feel just so fake. People, reaching out to me about their business. I haven't talked to them in 20 years, and I just kind of get that chills. I know totally what your agenda is and why you're reaching out to me. And so I base my reach outs on relationships, big time relationship building. So that's a huge thing to go with your reach outs as well. All right, next one is create the continuous cycle. Okay, so your cycle is add friends. Okay, 5 friends minimum a day, go for 10. Okay, so 5 friends minimum, go for 10, continually adding. Okay, how do I add my friends? I go to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, my brother, my sister-in-law, and I start going through their mutual friends, and I start with people that have the most mutual friends. So if I have someone that has, 30 mutual friends with them, then that's someone that I'm going to friend first, because I know personally, I look at how many mutual friends do we have when someone friends me. If we have a lot, I'm like, okay, cool. If we have 0 mutual friends, then I, am a little bit shaky about accepting their friend request. So, go to a friend, go to their friends, go to how many mutual friends you have, and go for those people first. Okay. So that's your first thing. So you're continually building your network, never stopping that. Okay. After you do that, your reach outs. Okay. So I never reach out to someone immediately following a friend request. Okay. I have had this happen to me too. I accept a friend request and immediately on Messenger they poke me. I don't even know what that is, but I'm like, what is this poking stuff? And then immediately following that, hey girl, thanks for, no. So I start for a week or two commenting, not just liking, commenting on their posts. And then, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after I've continuously built this relationship and they've started to see me and notice me more, then I reach out very like, hey girl, saw your pictures of you guys, wedding, you looked amazing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then just start building the relationship. So that's the second thing, reach outs. Then the follow-ups come, okay? So this is a huge part of the business, and I would say my biggest credit to success is that follow-ups are key. Follow-ups are something that never, ever stop until they tell you, like, stop messaging me or stop, following up with me. And I think I have had maybe one person in my life do this, and it's because every follow-up of mine is not Rodan and Fields. So I might reach out to them and then follow up with them. And the follow-up is 0 Rodan and Fields. It's personable. It's asking them how they're doing, how was your week, etc. Okay. The third follow-up might be something Rodan. Then, 4th, 5th follow-up, nothing Rodan and Fields. So I'm continuing to build this relationship. And my past 2 business partners that I have signed this month, that's exactly how they ended up eventually signing, is we now are friends. We have a relationship. One of them was through the hurricane, and that entire time, I didn't talk to her one single time about Rodan Fields. It was all, I truly, genuinely cared how she was doing. Was she safe? But continued to keep that relationship going. And then, you know what? The minute the hurricane died down and their family was safe, she became a consultant. So, the relationship aspect is a huge part of it. And as you know, they're joining you, not Rodan Fields. So that's the key part. Okay. So after the follow-ups, again, like I said, I continue following up. I never stop until they tell me, hell no, stop, talking to me. And usually that doesn't happen because we have a relationship at that point. All right. Set goals for yourself, which I know you guys do. But a big thing that I've started doing is setting daily goals. So this is something that I found with my PSQV as I look back. When I started setting daily goals, my PSQV jumped tremendously. So last month was my absolute worst, and it was around 4,600, and I was super disappointed with that because it was under my goal. And it's because I have a daily goal of minimum $200 adding to my PSQV. And I really honestly, at the end of the day, if I haven't done that, I send out more reach outs. And that is something that's helped me, with the daily goal. When you set a goal for 6,000 by the end of the month, how are you going to reach that if you're not doing something daily, the daily activity that's going to get you there? So I set daily goals, I set weekly goals, and at the end of each day and at the end of each week, I evaluate them, kind of see where I'm at. And then what do I need to do the next day and start that day strong, working towards that goal. Another thing I do is I reward myself for my work, not always my results. So if you have a goal to send, 30 reach outs this week and you do that, you've done your work, okay? You don't have 100% control over who joins you this month. You have 100% control over the work that you put in. And so that's the big thing you need to focus on. Focus on your work. Don't focus on, who's joining you this month. If you're doing those reach outs, they will eventually join you. The month that I had 5 people join me, those were reach outs that began 2 years ago. 3 of those consultants joined me after 2 years of reach outs following up. Okay, so it's the continuous cycle of continuing to add to your prospects. You should never have a month where you don't have prospects that you are trying to push over that fence. All right, the next thing I do is every Wednesday. So this is something that you need to find that's good for you. I do my own reach out blitz. I call it my Dirty 30, and that is something that I do Wednesday morning before I can work out. And that's a huge thing for me because workouts is my first thing I want to do in the morning. And if I can't get that workout in, I'm going to be going crazy. So I get up usually an extra 45 minutes early on Wednesday mornings. I turn my phone on airplane mode so no one can disturb me. And usually at 3:34 in the morning, nobody's up, so no one's disturbing me anyways. But I send 30 reach outs, and that way I know that I'm set for the week. And if I get more in, that's awesome. But I've done, my goal of 30. And I think that is another thing, doing the 30 reach outs Wednesday, halfway through the week. I know that, if the weekend's busy, Thursday, Friday, I want to, just focus on follow-ups, I can do that, but I've gotten 30 new reach outs in. All right. So now, why is this the time that we should be really prospecting? Okay. I want you to really, really focus on Spark. This is an amazing, amazing program. When I became a consultant, there was no incentive program. There was actually no incentive like prize. There was no iPad to be running for. There was no free regimen. There was absolutely nothing. So these people that are starting now have the potential of getting 30 glow kits, $1,000 reimbursement, no matter, the $695 or $995 kit. And then you have the awesome incentive of getting money in your hand and also glow kits in your hand. So this is something that you should really, really, really be pushing, the Spark program. And then also our awesome products that are launching right now. So those are, 2 huge things to be running for. And I would have a goal to sign someone in the next week because those are huge, huge, huge things that should be bringing people to the table if you have prospects that are close. And like Megan said, the next morning, like last night, I did not follow up with my people that were on the event because I knew they probably need to prospect it. And it's also like, okay, dude, I just got off the event, like leave me alone. It's 10 o'clock. But this morning, first thing in the morning I did was I reached out to them. Hey, can I answer any questions? Blah, blah, blah. Let's get you started. And immediately. And, by noon, 1 o'clock today, one of them had signed. So, continuously following up, show them that you are there for them from the get-go, from the decision-making process, and help them choose that kit and be confident. Confidence is a huge aspect of this. All right. I think 2 more things. Okay. So, a big thing that I have found is, when I do reach outs, my reach outs are not a copy paste, version. I might take a copy paste and then completely blow it out of the water with my own language. And that is something that, I think is really, really important, is to be you, do you, and be authentic in your reach outs, in your posts. Every single thing you do, you need to be you, do you. And this is something that, again, people can read through. I know that, the first time I sat down to do reach outs and I was looking at this language, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not me. And so by tweaking it and making it sound like me, that is something that I think attracts my network because they know who I am and they know that it sounds like me. So make those reach outs sound like you. Don't just copy and paste and blow them out, because people recognize that. People talk, and if you're sending them out to 30 people that are friends, you're going to say, hey, I got that same message, and that's not something that you want. So you want to be authentic in your reach outs, in your posts. Obviously take ideas, don't reinvent the wheel. Take ideas from all of our amazing consultants, but make them you, make them sound like you, make them how you talk, make your reach outs just like you were having a conversation, and always, be authentic in everything that you do. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Remember that everywhere you go, you're prospecting. I think that's a huge thing. Most of the times I go to the grocery store, I want to be like ponytail, sweatpants on, but then I realize that is an opportunity to be prospecting. So, everywhere you go, realize that you might run into your next business partner, you might run into your next PC, and so you need to walk the walk, talk the talk. You are a billboard for your business everywhere you go. And that is something to, continuously remember, that when you leave the house with Glow Kits in hand, you are a billboard. You are presenting your business. You are representing your business. And it's something that, every single time I go out, I look at my face, I'm like, oh my God, do I look like I represent skincare? Because that's, the first thing when you say, oh, I work for a skincare company, it's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to look at your skin. So that's something, constantly be, not that you have to be done up. Obviously, the more natural, the better. But remember that you represent your brand, you represent you represent Rodian & Fields. And so, be the picture that you want to represent. Let's see. Last thing, get away from your computer. I know we all are talking about this, but the more you get away from your computer, get people on the phone. That's a huge thing. Meet people for coffee. Don't go above and beyond. I personally have never taken a prospect to dinner until they are, signed, and I may be meeting them for a first initial meeting. But, take them for coffee, have a one-on-one, have a glass of wine. Those things mean so much more. You can, really get your voice out to your prospect. And I think, that goes a long way, just going out of your way to meet them and to show them again that you're there for them and that you're going to be with them throughout the entire business. Okay. And then the last thing is, I know these Mad Mimis are awesome, but what I'm finding and I'm hearing from a lot of my business partners is that's like the first thing they're doing. They're sending out the Mad Mimi. You need to have a phone call with them or a meeting face-to-face with them first, okay? Because I know the Mad Mimis are wonderful, but they are going to read into every little detail of that. And they're going to, get sticker shock by the kits, not knowing what's in them. They're going to see that I have $100 I have to spend every month without knowing what that is doing. They're going to, every little detail they're going to read into, and they're not going to respond. And so I love them. It's one of the best tools we have for a follow-up, but it should never be your first. When they want more information, you get them on the phone. If they don't want to get on the phone, then they aren't interested enough. Okay, so I think that is a huge thing. Again, it's an amazing tool. Every single one of you, I hope, made one last week. That was awesome that Stacey, gave you guys that challenge, because it's a super resourceful tool that you want to use, but not as the first initial reach out, or not the first way that they're hearing about the business. They need to hear it from you, from your mouth, on a phone call, on a Zoom call, for coffee, for wine, meeting somewhere face-to-face. All right. Any questions?
Heather, that was amazing. You are like an organized genius, because I don't do like 3/4 of that. So you are just so, that's why I knew, like, when you'd be training, it's like all those things. I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. And that's amazing. And I should do that. And so these tips were incredible. I can see you guys all like furiously writing. So yeah, open it up, guys. Ask Heather any questions. Of course, all of us doing these trainings are open books. We want to give you guys everything we can to help you grow. So use Heather, take advantage of her time right now.
I think also, like, a big thing, is to find, what's best for you. Like, for me, I'm a morning person, so I get up and I get it done. But that's not for everyone, and Megan's not, right? So it's like, find what's best for you, and then stick to it. You know, like, I think that's a huge thing. And, you know, Christina, I know, is on here, and she probably thought I was absolutely nuts in Vegas when I was up at still 5 o'clock in the morning. But like, that's my routine. That's my consistency. And that's when I work my business. So like, it eats at me if I'm like not out of my bed by 5 o'clock working my business. But that's not you. That might not be you. And so that's not going to work for you. So it's finding, you know, that time of day or what works for you, and not letting anything get in the way. I think that's a huge thing, you know, with the consistency piece of it is, you know, when is it going to be that you're going to work your business every single day? Because once you start doing it every single day, it's going to be natural. It's going to bother you that you can't do it at that time, or that there's something getting in the way, you know? And so that consistency piece is huge, but it's being for you, like what is going to be working for you.
Yeah.
And also multitasking, that's something I do. That's huge. Okay, so like, I'm a huge runner. So every single run now I'm on, I'm either listening to a daily experience, I'm listening to the Sunday night call. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be listening to the Sundays with Sarah. So like, every single morning when I'm running, I'm also listening to a call. You know, my kids know more about my business than half of the consultants in Rodan and Fields, because they're listening to calls on the phone, or in the car. I also like, even like, you know, throw out follow-ups while I'm, you know, running or walking on the treadmill or doing things. So, you know, use your time, like multitask. Do, you know, while you're cooking dinner, like throw an iPad in the kitchen and watch a daily experience, you know, like it's using your time to really honestly work this business in with your life so that you don't feel like it's taking away from your life.
Heather, I have a question.
Yeah.
And this may sound just absolutely ridiculous. And I don't even know if I'm even asking it correctly. But so I find myself doing this a lot. I go through and I'm like, okay, I haven't reached out to these people. I know this person from college. Oh, wait, they also know this person. So I just stop. I just freeze. And I'm like,
no, yeah.
I feel like I know that I'm like, it's bad for me. But I don't even know where to start. Like, I feel like my brain just blocks, and I'm like, you know what? I'm too late, or I find myself, not with everyone, but I find myself doing it frequently, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I've had many instances of that, and half the time they've never been approached. No one's reached out to them. Or, for example, the consultant I signed tonight, and this makes me sick. She won a sunless tanner from someone about a year back, and that person never followed up with her on how she even liked the sunless tanner. And she didn't even know, like, until she's like, this is one of my best friends from college. And she said, but then I saw you constantly posting and, you know, following up with me. And so instantly I knew that if I started this business, I was going to go with you. And so that's a huge thing that, you know, people, a lot of times they don't know who to, like, if they have 3 or 4 friends in their network, they don't know who to go with. And so they're going to, you know, who's following up with them, who's showing them, you know, that they're genuinely interested in their business. And I think that doing it in a way where, like, you know, hey, I saw you were friends with such and such. Have you ever tried, you know, the products? Or I'd love to send you a glow kit, you know. And then if they tell you, no, I am already a PC, or no, then you know to not pursue them anymore. But definitely don't let that hold you back.
And you know what I do? Like, anytime, and I still do this, like, if I see that person's friends with another RNF person, I screenshot the person and I message the other RNF consultant if I know who they are, and I'm like, hey girl, have you ever reached out to this person? And a lot of times, I mean, I do this with my directs all the time, because of course, you know what?
Me.
Who said that?
Me.
Yeah, right. I've done it with, like, Jamie, who's on here. I've done it with Sarah Davis. I've done it with Jen Sabo. And, like, sometimes you guys are like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, well, too late. I'm going to message them. Like, you know, and so it's just cross-referencing. Sarah LeBlanc and I have to do it a lot. And I can tell you, I definitely reach out a hell of a lot more than she does. So I'm the one always asking her. I mean, she doesn't have to anymore, right? But
Yes, she does.
So she does. You're right. I know. She needs to become a level 5 again. She needs to, exactly. You never stop. I'm never going to stop. But it's just cross-referencing. But don't let that like hold you back from just asking that other person, or just like Heather said, reaching out to them and seeing if they've ever even heard of it or whatever. Okay. Does that make sense?
I'm going to ask that question, and Megan, I'm totally going to see Megan's face, and she's going to be like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
What?
But I do find myself doing that a lot. Like I just keep scrolling, and I'm like, okay, just kind of move on. But making that list, I think, will help. So thank you, Heather.
Yeah. And another thing I do, which I still do, like the birthday messages with a mini facial. And I've gotten so many PCs from that. I've also gotten tons of business partners from that. And tons of people tell me, like, oh my gosh, I have, so many friends, and they've never offered me a glow kit, or they've never offered me to try the products. I would love that. And I mean, that's like a huge thing. So like in the morning, that's one of my first things I do, is I, check out who the birthdays are. If you go into your events, like I know on my iPhone, if you go into events, it'll show you the birthdays before you even get the pop-up of like whose birthday it is. And I immediately that morning, like first thing in the morning, send them a birthday message with hey, would you like, have you ever tried Glow Kit? And I don't say, actually, I tell them I'm going to send me your address. I don't ask them. And, they either respond that they already are a PC of someone, or they would absolutely love that. I mean, I would say 60 to 70% take it up, and so I think that's a huge way that I've gotten a lot of new business, is through those two.
I need to do that. I've stopped. That's a really good thing to do. Okay. So a couple of you guys asked, how do you hit the restart button, when life gets in the way? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Life's always going to get in the way. Okay. But you have to literally, it starts here in your mindset. If you're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm resetting myself. Every day is a new day. You get to like, if you're like, well, shit, I didn't send my 5 reach outs yesterday. Okay. Well, do 10 today. You know what I mean? Like every day is a new day to start over, but it has to start here, right? It has to start here with your mindset. You believe that what you want out of this, that you're going to reach your goals, and then you just got to do it. Like you just have to kind of hold yourself accountable. And I see a couple of you guys talking about accountability. I mean, having and finding that accountability partner is amazing, because then you can say, like, once you find that really good match with somebody, you text each other at 10 p.m. Hey girl, sent my 15 messages today. What'd you do? And it becomes this healthy competition between each other to literally hold each other accountable. Heather would be texting me at 6 a.m. and I wouldn't be up for 2 more hours, but you know what I mean? But it's kind of like this good, healthy competition with each other. And so it's really, consistency is what Heather was talking about, but a big thing, you guys, is making your business a priority. And I can say that all of you are, I mean, that's why you're in this training. You're all leaders. You have a team underneath you. We have to continuously make this a priority. We have to eat. We have to sleep, right? We have to take care of our husbands and our families and our kids. Okay, well, guess what else we have to do? We have to work our business. You have to make it a priority. And TV is not a priority for me anymore, right? Working out right now, it's really bad. It's not a priority for me right now because I work my business instead. That's something I need to fit in there. Like eventually it will start to become a priority again, but like there's just certain things that I've stopped doing to put my business in that spot of priority, because I'm like, I'm killing myself for 3 to 5 years because I want to make it. Like this is a 3 to 5 year business plan. So if I can prioritize my life, work my butt off for 3 to 5 years and then sit back and take a breather, like that's great, right? Because people work themselves to the bone for 40, 50 plus years in their life. I don't want that. None of you guys do. That's why you're doing this business. That's why you're leaders and you want to continue to grow. So you just got to really think about and write down those priorities and then plug in every single day, like Heather was saying. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you, Heather, or Megan, find that you get better responses or more responses, or do more Facebook messaging versus LinkedIn? Because I feel like I am getting less response, obviously, from LinkedIn because I don't know these people. And I think Heather basically on the relationship piece. But
so Megan would be very appalled to hear this, but I've never used LinkedIn.
Okay. No, I agree with you on that.
But I think it depends on, so this is what I've personally found. And I think this is from talking to a lot of my consultants. It depends on like what business you're in. Like for Megan's business, I think LinkedIn's a huge thing for like the pharmaceutical world. For teachers, LinkedIn isn't, you know,
Right.
It's not like, that's not where people go to find jobs and to prospect. And so I think that for me to go to LinkedIn to try to find people, it's just, it doesn't,
Pointless.
very productive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook is my number one go-to. And then
Okay.
I've tried to really get into Instagram. But I still I forget about Instagram. Like I'll be like, oh shoot, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm still, Facebook is my number one social media. But Megan's had a lot of success on LinkedIn, right, Megan?
Yeah, and I'd say it's a numbers game. You guys, I sent 200 reach outs on LinkedIn last week, and I've had eight or nine phone calls within the past couple of days from those 200 reach outs. And I have some follow-ups coming up with those people. So it's just a numbers game. I mean, it's literally, and with LinkedIn, they're blind reach outs. They're people that are in my profession, so I can connect with that. But I don't start with the relationship piece because they don't know who the heck I am anyway. I feel it with LinkedIn, they're going to be interested regardless if I ask them about the weather because they don't know me. You know what I mean? So it's a totally different piece where I just go right in for the kill. Boom, 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 boom. I've had people be like, are you seriously reaching out to me about Rodan and Fields? Like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm like, damn straight I am. This business has changed my life, girl. Do you want to hear about it? Like, I've gotten in arguments with somebody before on it. Like, but I hold my confidence. I'm like, see ya, peace out. And then I block them because I've had like 2 people do that to me. But when you send that many reach outs, it can happen. But I don't let it faze me. I brush it off. With Facebook, that's where, if it's somebody that you have somewhat of a relationship with, then starting with the relationship piece can be great. My Facebook reach outs right now are blind people still. So I just go right in for the message and I ask them if they're interested. That's just me. Everybody's different. But of course, if they're people that I'm meeting out and about and whatever, and then I'm on Facebook, I'm going to have that relationship with them. So it's kind of it's just different. Does that make sense, Megan? Okay, cool.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes.
When you are friending people, just random people, are you just friending them?
So I personally, I personally wouldn't say I'm friending random people. I'm friending like friends of friends that we have a lot of friends that are friends. It's a lot of friends. So like, let's say I'll go into my sister-in-law's and then I see, the first like 20 people, we have, 10 mutual friends. Then I, friend request all of them. And I think like, this is why I'm getting good. Like I get a lot of people that accept because they see, oh, we have 10 friends in common. Sure. Sure. And then I start with them building the relationship. And then my first reach out to them is, I know we don't know each other, but I'm, Melissa's sister-in-law, blah, blah, blah. I've heard so much about you. And so it's instantly connecting. Like, I don't know that I've sent a couple like completely blind reach outs, but most of them I have some sort of, and this is just me because this is how I am like as a person. But like I have some sort of connecting piece that instantly in there, they're like, oh, she's friends with Melissa. She knows this, or, so, or she's heard about me in this part. So I think that, that's something that makes me feel more comfortable in a blind reach out because it's not 100% blind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I just didn't know, like sometimes and I kind of do the same thing where I see people like my brother's page. I'll go to his page and I'll go, oh, well, we have, 15 mutual friends. And then I start friending those women or sometimes men as well.
Yeah.
And, but I can't necessarily come back at them and say, I don't know. I feel like sometimes my reach out back to them isn't as genuine, I guess, or as you put it, to say, well, I see we have mutual friends or to connect in that way. I have a hard time wording it, I guess.
So I have a good reach out I'll send you.
Okay.
I can even like put it in the comments of this that does that, like, you know, that I feel like connects me to the person, but also like loops back into Rodan and Fields.
Okay.
But it's forming that relationship too. So I have one that I use with most everybody. I just change it depending on the person.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Ange, I don't want you, just don't overthink it, girl. Just go and friend the frick out of everyone. Like, don't overthink it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I know you get to, like, don't get in your head, you guys. Just friend them, reach out to them, friend them, reach out to them. Don't overcomplicate this, I promise you, because it is a sheer numbers game. And so it's just, you know, going and just doing the work without overthinking it. Because when you start overthinking it and you sit down and have a 20-minute time span to do reach outs, and you only send out 2 because you're overthinking it when you really could have sent like 30, you know what I mean? But once you get the gist, or like how there's language or a language that you change and you love, then just start blasting those babies out and don't overthink it, okay?
Thank you.
Cool.
And once you find, you know, when you find a reach out that works really well, like I'll find like certain groups, like, okay, all these people I have like a mutual, and I'll send those all right now. So I can cut and paste, but change little things, and then I can get a lot of them out at one time. And then another thing like I've found really is key in my like reach out blitz is putting my phone on airplane mode, because once I see someone's message come in, I'm like, oh, they messaged me back, and then there goes my 30 minutes, you know. So when you put it on airplane mode, no one can disturb you. So, and you can still continue to send out those messages, and then afterwards, it's like Christmas morning, like you know, take it off airplane mode, and you have 10 messages, and you know, so it's exciting at the same time too.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, the end piece that Heather and I wanted to talk to you guys about is branding yourself and doing that well on Facebook. That's a huge piece of it, right? Because you're sending these reach outs, but then that's kind of like planting the seed, but then watering it is them seeing you taking your business seriously, being consistent with posting about your everyday life, of course, but posting about Rodan and Fields. So a big piece of that is getting yourself out there with using the products, right? And doing that on video, okay? So, Heather, you want to continue?
Yeah. Okay. So your challenge this week is going to be in hopefully the next 2 days. I would say try to get a video. If you have the new products, that's going to be best. So if you have the roller or the intensive serum, you know, those are going to be our key, what we're pushing right now. But even using the redefined regimen and even talking about how the new amp roller will be key to adding to it. But you're going to do a video of you using our products and to be entered to win the prize this week. So I would say try to get them out in the next, 48 hours, Megan?
Yeah, I mean, I would say sometime this week is fine. Like, of course, we launch the amp and the new serum Wednesday, but I'm going to urge you guys even to go live, okay? Like, why not? Just freaking do it. It is so much fun. I went live last night. I was a complete crazy person and told my story out loud, and I don't know what overcame me. I must have drank too much wine. But afterwards, it was like this, I had this like really like exhilarating feeling. I was like, oh my God, like I just did that. It feels like you just did this like solo routine on stage. But it's fun. Like, you know, if you get on live and tell people like, what the heck are these new products that are all over my Facebook, and you show them and you demo them live, super fun. But I'll even post a couple different video apps you can use to speed up, like you using your whole regimen and then speed it up. There's no sound. There's also an app that I used for mine. I haven't posted mine yet, but I can post it in the group so you guys can see it. What's the app called? It's called Flipagram, where you can take like clips of you, like a video of you doing like your full regimen. So I had like 4 different videos of me doing a regimen. And then I took out pieces of the video so it actually goes faster, because people don't want to be like see me rinse my face for a full 2 minutes, right? But there's all different kind of cool apps you can use because people want to see you actually using the products. And in the apps, when you make a video, there's no sound. But that's why it kind of would be cool to do live too. So it's getting out of your shell and doing this. It's going to be fun. So cool.
So I'll post the contest tonight so you guys can see that, and then post your videos underneath it when you do them so we can all watch them and cheer you guys on.
Yeah, and if you do a live, obviously just screenshot it and be like, I went live, and it'll be fun to go and watch, different people's lives and videos and stuff. So does anybody have questions about that? Okay, and of course you can ask in the page and stuff. So what time at night is best for live? Honestly, it's kind of crazy. There's people that go live during the day and get a lot of interaction. So it's whenever's convenient for you. You know what I mean? Like if you're home, Sarah, and both your boys are away at school and you're like, all right, it's 1 p.m. I'm just going to go on live, and lighting's the best during the day, you guys, in front of a window. That's when you look glowing. Do it. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you might get a lot of viewers on. So, I'd say whenever. And the cool thing about, you guys know, when people go live on Facebook, you're like the huge notification at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
So people are going to click on it and watch it, even if they're in the middle of a meeting or they're sitting in their cubicle, like at work. So, yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but go for it. Why not? Cool. All right. Thank you, Heather. You were amazing. Your tips were amazing.
Thanks, everyone, for being on, and I'll post the link for some of those documents, my language, and then also the contest tonight. So look out for that, and you guys are kicking butt. Stay consistent. Keep on going. You guys all want this. You got this. Every single one of you will be a level 5. So tell yourself that every single day.
Yes. And for those of you that haven't paid me the $5 yet for our virtual product reveal event Wednesday night, and you want to be added to that event page to be able to invite all of your PCs or prospective PCs, get that sent to me and comment on the post in Team Inspire so I can add you to that event Wednesday night. All right. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
One more question. Oh, forget it. Bye.
Oh,
Question?
Heather, one more question.
Yeah.
The contest. Like if we have like a PC page, or does that count, or like do we
No, do it on
all over Facebook?
yes. All
live
over.
or video on your personal
all
page.
over. Like
Yeah.
all over Facebook.
All over. Yes.
All right. I'm trying to cut corners here.
No corner. You can also post it in your PC page, but I want it on your Facebook personal page. Okay?
Do I have to wear the peach dress?
Yes, and I love that your name is Peaches on here now. I love that. I'm like, Peaches and Cream.
I just took it back. Damn it!
I love it. Yes, if you
I-
wear that,
I'll go get it again.
you'll get so many views if you wear that.
I
thing.
probably will. I'll go get it again. That's
Go
it.
get it.
It's going down.
I love it.
I should just go get it and dance and roll and
Oh,
done. Done.
You'd get like 60 new PCs.
I just have to go. I have to work the next 2 days, so it might be Thursday. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey, that's okay. You can do that.
At least you know what you're up against, right?
Love it.
All you all know what you're up against. The peach dress.
I love it.
I'm texting the dress lady right now.
Do it. I love it. I love it. All right. Have a good night.
Okay.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, girls. Good night.
Thank you.